that we did last week. We will be doing straight line geometry. No language, no communication. Of course, mathematics is also a language. If you can see there, we'll be talking about vertically opposite. And you can see my colors of blue there, where we'll be referring to the vertices, which is a plural of a vertex. Complementary. Remember and note when you talk complementary, 90 degrees, they go together. Supplementary and 180 degrees. Those are the three things that we'll be mainly focusing on. Right. Right. Vertex and vertices, like I mentioned, vertex, when two lines meet, they meet at a point, and that point is called a point, a vertex. And normally at that point, that's where the angle is formed. For example, when you look at line BO and line AO, where they meet at that point, O is called a vertex. BO and CO, where they meet is called a vertex. CO and DO, where they meet is a vertex, and they form an angles there as well. So in plural, we refer to them as vertices. When you look at your 90 degrees as well, always note where we're talking about perpendicular lines, look at angle BOA. And normally, to make angles easy for us, you would put your finger at B and other finger at A where they meet. That's where your angle is, BOA. When you refer to angle BOC, put your finger at B, put your finger at C, they meet at O. And note something, with 90 degrees across around the point, when you add all of them, they give you 360. And also observe the straight line COA. 90 plus 90 gives you what? 180. Also observe BO and OD. They give you a straight line. When you add those two angles, what do you get? 180 degrees. So just note along when we go along in the presentation. We'll also be referring to complementary, but look there where there's a V. I've indicated vertices. That is where vertex meet each other. In other words, that's just a plural, but two lines meet. And we'll be talking about a complementary. Like I said, remember, when you talk complementary, we are talking 90 degrees. Anything that you add and give you 90 degrees. When you combine them, they give you 90 degrees. That will be complementary. Note that as well. And again, let's have a look here. Straight line, I refer to vertex A, line AO and OB give you a straight line. Line AO and OB give you a straight line. And in that straight line, what two angles do you see there? 145 degrees and 135 degrees. When you add them, what do you see? A straight line. I'm adding 145 and 35. What do you get? 180 degrees. In other words, straight line AOB will give you 145 plus 35. Okay, we can also look at straight line COD. Straight line COD. 35 plus 45, what do you get? And as well, we're still there. Let's look at the vertically opposite. What do you mean by vertically opposite? When you say the houses are back opposite, their backs are opposite. The house at the back of your house, they're called back opposite. Look at the angles that give you a size 145 and 145. Those angles are back to each other. They're oppositely back to each other. But because what do they have in common? A vertex. That's why they are referred to as vertically opposite. Not back opposite, like I said, language matters. Vertically opposite. But also note, 145 degrees is equal to 145. And those angles are vertically opposite related. Look at 35 degrees and 35 degrees. They are vertically opposite. So they'll always be equal. So just note those things. Like I said, that language is very important. They are opposite how? Because of their vertical, because of their vertices. That's why we refer to them as vertically opposite. There you are. Look at the green angles, angle 2 and 4. They are equal. Vertically opposite, vertical angles. Like I said, the houses you say back opposite, but here in mathematics you say vertically opposite. As it's a math language. Look at the pink angles, angle 1 and angle 3. What about them? They are equal. They are equal. But why? Because they are vertically opposite. It's important to notice how do they look like. Remember your vertex where the two lines meet, they form a vertex there, and those two lines and a vertex will give you an angle. So please note, vertically opposite, right. And as well, you must look at angle 2 and 3, they give you a straight line. Angle 1 and 4, they give you a straight line. Once more, an emphasis. We just want to emphasize this. Look at the orange angles. They are equal. Why? Vertically opposite. They are opposite because of their vertices. That is important to remember that they will always be equal. And remember, you always have to give a reason, right? Let's look here. Angles are straight. Let's observe. Remember, you're using equation last week. If I say angle 50 plus angle A, how much will it be equals to? The first figure. Angle 35 plus angle B, how much will it be equals to? And why? Are they on a straight line? Yes. Therefore, if you're in a straight line, what do you get? 50 plus 80 will give you 180 degrees. Angle 35 degrees and B will give you 180. Why? Straight line. It's important. Straight line, when you add them, they will give you 180 degrees. And look at the figure on the extreme right, 90 degrees and 90 degrees on a straight line, they give you what? 180 degrees. Angles on a straight line, they'll give you 180 degrees. A figure below, 120 plus 60, 180. Why? Angles on a straight line. Look, 120 equals to 120. Why? Vertically opposite. Angle 60 equals to angle 60. Why? Vertically opposite. So that is very, very important to understand. But remember, we are referring to equations on our last lesson. Like I said, 50 degrees plus A is equals to 180. Now, how do you balance? What will be A equals to in order to get 180? That's what we did. What will be B equals to in order to give you 180? What do you add 35 to give you 180? What do you add 62 to get you 74? And when we go below, look at angle E. And look at angle that is equals to 40 degrees. How are they related? How are they related? Vertically opposite angles. And what do you know about vertically opposite angles? They are equal, yes. Therefore, angle E is equals to 40 degrees. Let's also go further. Angle R is equals to angle I is equals to 135. Clearly, we understand the language because they are vertically opposite. But remember, we are using our equations that we learned last time to solve these questions. There you are. There is also a given situation. Straight line, what does a straight line give you? Angles, when you add them together, they give you 180. A bigger below, what is angle D equals to? It's a given because you understand the language. They are vertically opposite. So therefore, what is the relationship? They are equal. Yes, angle D is equals to 140 degrees. And then you are E, how is it related to 140 degrees? They are on a straight line. When you add them, what do you get? 180. And what do you call such angles? Supplementary. When you add two angles on a straight line, they are called, or angles on a straight line, they are called supplementary angles. Supplementary angles give you 180. When you add them, they give you 180. A figure below, what is angle G? Yes, remember, vertically opposite. How is G related to H? Mathematics is a relationship subject. How is G related to H? They are angles on a straight line. Therefore, what is their relationship? Therefore, what do they have in common? When you add them, they give you 180. They are supplementary. What is the relationship of angle F and G? Straight line. What do you add them? What do you get? 180 degrees. The language, vertical, supplementary, or complementary. That language matters. When you look at this one, you will be requested to solve, find the value of x. And again, mathematics, you look, what is a relationship? In other words, what do you have in front of you? In front of us, we've got a straight line AOB. Straight line AOB. What makes that straight line? Angle 8 degrees. Sorry, there's a mistake. 8 degrees plus 9x plus 90. When you add them, they'll give you 180. Sorry, the first one was supposed to be 8 degrees, not 180. So it's 8 degrees plus 9x plus 90. What about them? Angles on a straight line. And then what? What about the angles on the straight line? They're equal to 180. Then you'll be able to know what is the value of x, so that the statement on the left is equal to the statement on the right. Balancing the equations, balancing the scale. What is on the left is equal to what is on the right. Same thing here. You can approach it in whichever way, but look at it. What is in front of you? What do you see in front of you? That rectangle on the angles there represent 90 degrees. The rectangle there on the angle AOD represent 90 degrees. It's a math language that says that is equal to 90 degrees. Therefore, if that is 90 degrees, angle BOD should be 90 degrees, because 90 degrees plus 90 degrees gives you 180. Therefore, you can easily say, okay, what is the relationship? What is DOB? What makes DOB? DOB is made by 2x degrees plus 38 degrees, and they are equal to 90. They are complementary. Therefore, their relationship is that 90 degrees. When you add them, the sum is 90 degrees. But remember now in the equation, on the left must be equal to the right. What do you add to 38 degrees to get 90? What do you add to 38 degrees to 90 in order to be able to solve for x? In other words, we are applying our equations like last week. There is another question there that we can look at. Question 1. There is a rectangle at the corner there. There's a rectangle there because that rectangle represents what? 90. So the language of math says that rectangle is 90. Mathematically, that rectangle is equal to 90, represent 90 degrees. And then what is that? What do you see in that angle? What else do you see in that angle? It says 55 degrees plus A is equals to 90. Because you are giving. Again, you are solving your equations. The second question, A and 120, what is their relationship? What if they form a straight line? Their relationship is a straight line. And what do you know about a straight line? It's equals to 80, meaning therefore A plus 120 gives you 180 degrees, and you balance your equation. What do you add to 120 to get 180? That's all. What do you add to 120 to get 180? Of course, it means your A is 60 degrees. Language remembering, looking at what is given. Question 3 again, let's look A and 135. A and 155, sorry. A and 1, what is the relation? A straight line again. A straight line. But what do you know about a straight line? When you at the angle of a straight line are supplementary. What does supplementary mean? It means when you add them, they should give you 180 degrees. Therefore, what do you add to 155 to get 180? You are 25 degrees. You are solving for A. In other words, you are using your equations that we learned last time. Question 4, what is A equals to? Where is A? What is A related to? What do you see here? I see a vertically opposite angle. Then you would know your angle A is equal to 60. We go to question 5 as well. What are you giving? We know that A plus B is 180 straight line, but now we've got 2 unknowns. Where do we start? A is equal to what? 50 degrees. Why? Vertically opposite. So you must always find that relationship of vertically opposite. No, those angles are equal. Question 6. What is the situation here? There is a rectangle. What does the rectangle tell you? It tells you that angle is equal to 90 degrees. If it's equal to 90 degrees, A is vertically opposite to the neighbor of 65. Therefore, you will say, okay, the vertically opposite angle of A will be 25. Vertically opposite angle of A will be 25. Therefore, A is equals 25. All right. Same thing when you look at question 8. You always analyze, and if there are more lines, several lines, you cut them, isolate them, small pieces, look at the relationships. Question 19, you start with a straight line first, and then question 10, it's a straight line, A plus 65, you know what it gives you. Question 9, the signs, mathematical language, those signs that are marked equally, same mathematically, it means they are equal. Again, you start with what? Your vertically opposite angle. I think I will add it there. Like I said, a vertex where two lines meet gives you a point, which gives you an angle. That's how the vertex is formed. And then if there are many of vertex, we call them vertices. And that relationship, if angles are vertically opposite, in other words, they relate with vertices oppositely, they say they are vertically opposite, and therefore they are equal. Complementary, if you add the angles, the sum of whichever angles that you add will give you 90. And lastly, the straight line, angles on a straight line, 180 degrees. Complementary, you add them, 90 degrees. Supplementary, you add them, 180 degrees. Vertex, where the two lines meet at the point and give you an angle, those angles, they are vertically opposite and they're equal. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson. Right, next you'll be getting your quiz. Thank you very much and good luck.